A European potato blight in the 1840s began the immigration era, after Ireland and other areas, such as some provinces in Germany, were devastated by famine, resulting in about 1.4 million people immigrating to the United States. For example, the population in Ireland was estimated to be 8.5 million in 1845. By 1851, its population was reduced to 6.5 million. The loss of 1 million Irish people is attributed to starvation and resulting disease, and another million immigrated to America. An immigration of such magnitude had never been experienced before. Even during its founding years, only 850,000 immigrants entered between the American Revolution and the 1840s. Another major cause for this drastic loss of lives among immigrants to the United States during the mid-1800s was the very poor sanitation conditions endured on the ships, which often led to epidemics and death on board. The normal mortality was 10% for steerage passengers of early ships, with 17,000 Irish immigrants dying during 1847, the peak of the famine period, and another 20,000 dying soon after arriving in the United States. During this immigration era, around 2.6 million Europeans arrived in the 1850s, with some reduction of numbers during the U.S. Civil War and continuation of the large number of immigrants during the 1860s, which brought over 2 million newcomers, with numbers doubling during the 1880s to over 4.7 million arrivals. The 1800s marked a milestone in the history of U.S. immigration. For the first time, more than 1 million immigrants were from Central as opposed to Northern Europe, with large numbers of Jews, Italians, and various Slavic groups. In most instances, men came first, and millions of women followed sometime later, bringing their children with them or sending the earning-age children before the rest of the family came. Grandparents were most often left behind, primarily due to two reasons. Older adults had more difficulty coping with the strenuous traveling conditions, and age was viewed as a handicapping condition by immigration officers. In most instances, men who were often illiterate could not provide sufficiently detailed information to prepare their families for the difficulties of the voyage. Women did not know exactly what to pack, what items to sell or leave behind, or what to expect during debarkation at Ellis Island. Most European peasants were fatalistic, and the immigration journey was a confused process and more dependent on luck than it should have been. The 1890s brought some economic depression, reducing the number of immigrants to 3.6 million, with the following decade, 1901 to 1910, experiencing an immigration peak of 8 million, in part because of the introduction of faster ships, reducing the voyage time from months to weeks and days. The steamers could also maintain regular schedules, independent of inclemency of the weather, such as unfavorable winds. Steamers also provided dining facilities, and medical inspections and vaccinations were required at the port of embarkation in Europe. Even though steerage sanitation was still in need of improvement, the mortality rate decreased tremendously and almost disappeared.